Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Unity's official live stream. It's been such a long time. It's good to be back. I'm excited to keep bringing more shows, featuring more creators at a regular cadence again. So, before jumping into today's show, so much happened last week. We held a massive in-person event at Unite, where we really got to connect with all of you. If you missed out on that, you should definitely check out the keynote that we have up on our YouTube. There's a lot of amazing updates in there that you don't want to miss. At that event, we also announced the winners of the Unity Awards, which you can find on unity.com/awards. We'll drop a link in the chat to the live audience who's with us right now, by the way. Thanks for joining us. And that's super relevant to today's show because we actually have with us the winner of the Asset Store's Best Artistic Tool category today, which is Text Animator for Unity. I see a lot of you in the chat are really excited. You're anticipating this stream. It's an amazing tool, and we're going to learn all about it. If you haven't heard of it, Text Animator is a text animation/event system tool that can really bring any dialogue or text in your game to life. And Fabucci, the creator, has joined us on stream before, but he just recently released a big update to the tool. So I thought it'd be a great time to bring him on, go over the latest features, and to get a tease of some upcoming unreleased features as well. So that's going to be pretty exciting. So I'm just about to bring him on, but before that, let's cut to the trailer for Text Animator for Unity. Hello, sir. How's it going?
Hi, San. All good. Thank you.
It's really nice to see you again.
Thank you for having me.
So good to have you back. For anybody who's not aware, can you please give everyone just a quick introduction?
100%. So I've been making games for more than 8 years. I am an indie game developer from Rome, Italy. I started with some mobile games, and then I ended up having an actual company with 4 core developers. We have made some games in the past, and then we started also sharing some game development content, some tutorials, and some tools, one of which is Text Animator for Unity. So yeah, this is like the main introduction of like experimenting a lot with Unity and trying different games, different prototypes. And I'm like super, surprised about like the Text Animator results. Because what started from my own tool that I needed for myself ended up, being used by developers all over the world. And like I keep getting messages from people like, "Hey, thank you like for having this tool, and like it helped us a lot." So yeah, this is like the entire super brief, short introduction.
Yes, and we're gonna go into more detail about the tool and everything. Before that, we're gonna get a history.
Yes.
Quick or
We
long, kind of a long history
yes.
of everything you've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
Text Animator wasn't the first project you worked on. You didn't start on the Asset Store, but you made it there, and you actually, congratulations, I didn't get to congratulate you in person. Won Best Artistic Tool, which is a huge deal. I mean, there are so many tools on the Asset Store, and for yours to reach really the top of the heap for 2023 was incredible for the 15th Unity Awards.
Thank you so much.
So yeah, pretty big deal. We actually have the asset, which I want to like show off here. For the Unity Award, we'll cut to that in a second. But yeah, so it's been like we said, a super long journey for you, and I would love to like just for you to walk us through that journey so far. Oh, there it is. There's the asset. You might have seen that. I think you shared that image already on social media.
Yes, 100%. I didn't like expect it. So when I shared the post, it was like days after the announcement. I was like, what? But yeah, 100%, like super happy, and like thanks to every like person who like got it and shared it around and like allowed us to share their games. Like it was like wonderful, and we have like many things in the works also. So this is also why we're here today.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to tease some of those things, right? And so if you want to see the rest of the winners, you can go to awards.unity.com or unity.com/awards and go celebrate all the other winners. And we have a little sizzle reel as well up on our YouTube for all the games that won the Unity Awards. So definitely worth checking that out. It's also worth mentioning before we jump into the show that it's actually the Black Friday sale right now. So you can get a whole bunch of assets for around 50% off for most of them. So we'll drop a link to that in the chat as well. Go check that out. And Text Animator for Unity is also 50% off right now, by the way. So now is a better time than any. If you're not convinced now, you'll probably be convinced by the end of the show. So yeah, I say we just jump right into it. So you started, of course, with game development, right? That's what made you realize you want to make this text animation tool, right? So can you walk us through like the very beginning, the earliest games you worked on? And what's great is we have footage for all of this stuff. So we're gonna get a visual show here. So
yes, okay. So I started in high school basically, and I was like, I love video games. Let's try, making them myself. And I didn't have really a direction. I just started experimenting. The first one, it's called Tiffy. We put that on the Google Play Store. And it was basically like a stealth game where we have an image for that. You had to like avoid lasers, and it was just random. Like we had no idea. But we loved like to experiment, and it was with a classmate. I was working with a classmate.
Yeah. Okay. And I think we have an image for that. I want to put that up real quick while you're talking about this. Yeah, there we go.
Yes,
that's what it looks like.
Oh no.
Top down.
Yeah, there were like cameras.
I mean, that's your first game. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The funny story about that is that we put that on the store, and it got like 10,000 downloads in like a week. And we were like completely in panic. We had no idea what to do. And because, once you get attention, like you have players asking, we want ABC or like even just new update, new content. And we didn't like have any idea what to do, but it was like a really fun experience. After that, we made many experiments, an archery game where you had to hit the targets, a game where you had to pick colors, so just random prototypes. Another game is Demophobia, where you had to escape an haunted like mansion. I don't even remember, like it was a castle, probably. So
look, and you already have some text animating in there right at the start. There we go. This is Demophobia, by the way, for everyone watching.
So basically it was a continuation of the like top view camera that we had on the Tiffy. There was the character after like the screen. 3, 2, 1, here we go. There was like the main character, and you had to escape from spiders, and this was like this weird text setting in pixel art.
Okay.
And what was cool here is that I started understanding that we wanted to create that I was really keen on creating atmospheric, like immersive, like games focused on the story also. This one was, again, really simple. You had these like haunted rooms, and you had to escape and choose the correct path, and it was like point, click to move. Yes, point,
nice.
click. Yeah, okay.
You got it. Point and click.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. After that, and also like the funny story about this one, it was the first time that we had a YouTuber covering the video, the game. And so if you like search on it, there was I think it was an Italian YouTuber.
Okay.
Like covering the video. Was like really nice.
I have to say, like with the art style, like it's so simple but very atmospheric. The way you played with lighting, I think it looks great.
Thank you. It was just the moments of like experimenting and like doing just what we wanted to without the pressure of actually having a business and other things.
Making
it was just like pure, pure like doing random things.
100%.
After that, I started going more on the PC side of things. And there was it was also the moment where I started like sharing what I learned about Unity and what I was learning about Unity on the on Twitter and on my website. And these were like, I guess it was 2 years or 3 years with Unity tips. And so I was
Got it.
like, editor tricks, how to do something that maybe was hidden in the documentation. And that they were like, again, like people coming together and learning new things. And this is where I also started understanding, like, okay, I don't like only like to make games, but also love to share what I'm learning.
Okay.
And this is the other like branch of like the Fibucci side is
I
also
see.
like sharing things around.
Well, what inspired you to share the first tweet, like the first tip? What made you feel like, you know what, this was such a cool thing that I figured out. I need more people to know about this.
I don't know. I honestly like I don't remember.
Yeah.
But like what I remember is that it started getting more traction throughout the years, and like after 1 year, I guess, or 2 years, we got to 4,000 followers on Twitter, which was
Wow.
like a good achievement.
Okay.
And so like I was super happy, and like they're alive still today. Like if you go on my website, you can see like a Unity tips post, and you can scroll through all of them. There were like more than 40, I guess.
Amazing.
So that was one part.
Okay. And you still they're all still up, and they're still
yes,
relevant
100%.
and all that. Perfect. Okay, cool.
And also like they were more on the generic side. A few were on the programming, but mostly about the editor and like workflows and other things.
Great. I think we had some of those to showcase that we want to put up on screen, but yeah, there we go.
There we go. Then I started also making tutorials. So this was like how to make responsive UI with the previous like framework. And then we also have custom post processing with URP. This one is more recent. I guess it was last year. So how to use volumes while also having URP. And so those were like the kind of posts that I also started sharing around. Some of them were like really simple GIFs, and other were like more complex and like longer kind of tutorials.
Like blog posts almost, like where you're breaking down a topic. And
they took a lot of time.
That effect was super cool. If you can go back to that, the house with the distortion effect. Can you tell us a bit more about that one and why you made that one? This one, yeah.
Yes, this one is like, if you ask me, I love distortions. Like if you go see like even my current games, we play with that a lot. And so it was like also super easy to make.
Okay, cool.
You get like what's visible on the screen, like the coordinates, and you tell the GPU to just move things a little bit, focus on based on a text or similar. And magic happens. Like shaders are really magic. Like
they really do feel like magic. Once you start playing with them and plugging nodes together, it's actually very intuitive, especially node-based shaders. And there's a lot of that kind of feeling using Text Animator, which we're gonna see soon. But I get that feeling as well. Like it feels like magic the way it's built. Cool.
And
here's some more.
Perfect. Where like the more shorter kind of content. I even had a Patreon back then. Wow. Okay, I don't even remember this. Yeah, like how to create this kind of shader, or the other one also are like all posts like this, a bit shorter and more also I would say social media oriented. This one is about interpolation, and so how to make something. Let's say it's just something which might be the scale of an object, the movement. A currency something just through time, just how to animate it through code. And again, it was like really helpful for like really fun just to share things around and start also the discussions. And this post is a few years old.
Building a community also, like kind of
and since recently we also started a Discord server for the Text Animator, which we will then like open up for more like tools and more game dev.
Which we dropped in the chat, by the way. It's already there.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Yeah. And so this one is like one of the reasons also, like build a community without, too much pressure on, you have to make ABC, just experiment, just create. And just, learn together. And this is like the learning part. I keep gesturing, by the way. I'm Italian, if people haven't noticed.
I love it. It. Keep gesturing. No, you're not gesturing enough.
Oh, no. This is my maximum. So this one was another game when I moved to the more like bigger PC part. And this is where like things started getting more complex. because like game dev is really hard, and making a game like this required way more people. And at this point, I was basically like the main core developer. But what is funny is that this game first like taught me a lot. But other than that is the promo images like and the media that you see around with Text Animator, like the ghost that says Text Animator like is from this game. So there is also like the thing that you never like nothing is wasted and you always reuse content at one point, and everything becomes useful. But anyways,
and I see a bit of the distortion on the grass there.
Always. You will always find it. Yeah, I'm sorry,
it's always there.
I am not. I don't know. But you will always find it. Yes,
it's good. I think it was very mature. Also, your decision to like, you realized early this is going to be too big. So rather than have that sunken cost, like already put time into this, let me keep doing it. You're like, oh, you know what? Let me rescope. I learned what I learned from this project, and that was enough of a victory, and I'll move on to the next, thing. And I think a lot of people can get stuck in that trap of like feeling like they need to like finish the first project they ever work on. Whereas maybe it wasn't scoped properly. We tend to not scope things the first time around, right?
Yes.
Scope things.
Yeah, but also like you start thinking about, well, but I really spent 1 year, 2 years. It's gonna be shorter. Like I really did, and then you don't realize that it's always bigger, and you might and so even if you spent or invested 2 years, it might still be worth it to not even cancel it, but just pause it and just refresh yourself, like your mind. Take a bit of time and go out of your bubble and then see if it's still worth it. Like this was one of the key lessons from that point also. And yeah, when you say like scope small, like with video games and start small, making your first game, the small that like new developers like we have at the beginning is not like the actual small. So this is also like another. Yeah, but I started small and then it takes 5 years and you're like, no, not gonna work. But yeah, this one was a tool that I started. It's not public; it was just internal that I started creating for that game, a dialog system. But as you can see, it was like it's still a story of like experimenting and doing also tools and sharing things around and feeling like see how things go. And this was just a super prototype dialog system that I used back then.
Yeah.
Next, we have. Oh, sorry, my voice is starting to go away. Next, we have the moment where I said, "All right, I did everything that is too big. Let's cut like the scope and let's do something more defined." And this is where I moved to a game that was called Chirpy. I also started sharing it on Twitter. We have a GIF. Here you go.
Oh there you go.
Oh no,
this is cool.
So there is this bird that from some reason shoots letters, but you can see
it's like, Chirpy.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's nice.
But as you can see, there is like the text part is more like frequent, like the dialog system. Then we have the Chirpy with the letters. Like there was something that I didn't realize. Now I realized, but like I didn't know back then that maybe I really like doing things that are with this direction.
Yes.
And the rest is like text
subconsciously, like you were just like drawn to type.
Yeah. Which is also why it's so like super important to sometimes take a rest from the big project or whatever and just look around and see, okay, I've done ABC, what do I really like to do? And this was like on one of the other key lessons that I learned.
Or like, what do I want to do today? Like this project is what I wanted to do 3 years ago, but who am I today and what do I want to work on today? Yeah, that makes sense.
Because like you learn a lot. Like even your art style, when you start year 1, like if you end up year 5, you have improved your skill, and so the content of the first year must match somehow. Like
it's be cohesive.
It's really difficult. But yeah, that is how one of the like I guess subconscious ways of how Text Animator started. And I started sharing a GIF. Here you go.
Nice.
With like the first FX. It was, I guess, 2019, like the end of 2019. And at this moment, I started having developers telling me like, I might be interested in this. Like, I might need this for my own projects.
And when you shared this, did you do it with that intention, or was this just something for yourself?
It's just for myself. As
cool.
I always did. Yeah.
Cool.
I just asked the tutorials and all the other things. It was like, I like this. Just share it around and see, what happens.
Yeah.
And what I didn't realize, was I didn't expect was people contacting me like, I would love to have this for my own game. And 1, 2, 3, and then okay, let's try the asset store. And this is where also like it started. But the main reason for that is that I started working on Text Animator, which didn't have a name even back then, for my own games. I jumped to another game. I started working on another game that we are still developing today. Nice. And there is, yes, it's still an announced title. We have some GIFs about that. I guess
of what it used to look like, right? Or what it looks like today?
Yeah, what it used to look like. Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, and I needed Text Animator for like that game, and I'm still like, we are heavily using it, of course. And here you go. So this is myself telling to myself still like, I'm finally testing new things, which is what I was like, I was waiting for, after the big games and other things. And you can see here, like the letters are actually like solid collisions. Like the player is jumping on letters.
Okay.
So it was actually meant to be a physics, like it was I don't even remember that, but it was like way more not complex, but like less realistic that the actual use case. But it was funny that this is how it started. And the next GIF is the actual like game that we are working on today. So I started this by myself, and now we are 4 core developers, which is crazy to me. Like it's really like crazy.
Full team.
And they like wonderfully like super talented artist and 1 level and QA. And yeah, basically like we are working on that game.
And like that was like getting those 4 developers. That was all thanks to the success of Text Animator.
Yes.
And I think we played this video a bit early, but yeah, I mean, I guess we might as well jump right into it since it's playing. These are some of the games that are actually like using Text Animator.
Yes. And after like 3 years of being on the store and sharing the tool and Text Animator, we have Cult of the Lamb, Dredge, Yes Sergey, Snowfall. Like what I didn't expect from all of these, of course, first is the success and people using it actually. But the second is the second element is actually meeting so many wonderful developers, because this was starting to become like an excuse to just speak to developers, different studios, meet them at Gamescom, meet them at different events. And this was like it's still today like really heartwarming, because I have the chance of meeting like really wonderful developers. And yeah, it's really like a really nice community. Like look at even at the games, like they are all super different. We have the roguelikes, we have this one where you fold the paper and like you have this puzzle with it's everything is crazy. This one, I don't know how to say that in English. It's embroidered like with the
that's
perfect.
Right.
Thank you so much.
So I think I saw the developer making this game with basically a sewing machine or something like that.
Or exactly. Yes, exactly.
Like,
so
crazy.
We have all these different games like coming together, and like it was like super heartwarming, like meeting all of them. And another thing for our game side is that when I went to events, it also made talking to publishers a bit easier, just for the sake of having a point in the conversation. Like, okay, when you introduce yourself, I'm Federico, I've done games ABCD, tools, and we made Text Animator. And some of them were like, oh yeah, some studios of like in our publishing label use it. And I was like, what? And it made also conversation easier. So this was like really unexpected to me. Like everything, like almost everything is unexpected. And the other thing is also there was one person, for example, that told me that they wanted to give Text Animator as a Christmas like gift to their girlfriend. Which to me like it's a really like super responsibility.
That's amazing.
Another one was a mother who was creating a game for her daughter and wanted to animate letters in a like specific way, and was like, oh my god, like
that's very adorable. That's so cute.
It's like it's really like heartwarming. And so like I'm really happy today that we have like this community of sharing like notes and not having that pressure, and also making games by yourself. And so having this team like. It takes a lot of time. Like making games, like it's really like difficult. But I'm happy that this history of like 3 years now, we are entering the 4th. Yes, allowed us to do this, which is not for granted. Like I didn't expect that at all.
No, yeah. And you also have a new website that you were gonna show us as well, which is latest. We'll jump to your screen so you can show off that new website.
Let me share that with you in a moment. Here we go. So this is new. I still have to work on the animations and on the other things. But yeah, this is like what we are doing, and we make bot games and game development. And this is the tutorial that you saw previously.
Right, a little tease of what the game looks like now. That's amazing. Big difference over there.
Previously, yes, yeah, there is a big difference.
Yeah.
And we have the tools. This one is a free one, for example, where you make the hierarchy like more colored, and you can let me zoom on this, and you can organize basically it better, like how you prefer.
Right.
This one is, of course, the text animator. And if you go on the games that use it, like I'm still like, I probably never realized this. But yeah, we are like working on the new website and everything. And yeah, this is all came together thanks to, all of these years working on everything. So yeah, this is also the website.
Incredible. And we'll drop the link to the website in the chat, and we'll drop it again so people can check it out and join. Your socials are on there, your Discord is on there. Basically, everything is on there. And so anything Fabucci you need is on that website. So
it is new. And also, like in 2024, we will start a way to also help developers like hire us or outsourcing kind of thing. So if they need like a specific tool for their own studio, they can also ask us. And another thing that I'm still like super not used to that is I'm about to start a YouTube like playlist of sorts, where we also, because I'm like not used to speaking in front of the camera, but this keeps the everything of speaking to developers, meeting them, and sharing everything to new developers, or already like
documenting the journey. I think you already have one episode. I've seen it.
I did have yes, it's old, like
it was great.
No, thank you. But I started the series, and then it was okay, too many things are happening. There was games coming between, there was an accelerator program here in Turin. I had to relocate 600 kilometers. A lot of things happened. It was like, okay, it just started, let me just pause it for now, and let's resume it actually, and like reboot and start it later, and it will be next year basically.
Okay.
But that is in the works, and this is like a little like preview of what it's about to come. There was like my phone as the camera. Now we have an actual camera, so things will improve. Things will improve for that also.
Great. And we have somebody in the chat who's like, they were just in Turin last February.
oh, really?
Yeah. And a lot of people are very excited to jump into looking at the asset, and a lot of people have just bought the asset for Black Friday. So this is perfect timing for the tutorial that we're about to jump into. So I say, let's show people what Text Animator is all about. Let's look at some demos. We have a few demos to showcase before we actually install Text Animator into our project and actually start using all the features. So let's showcase 100%. What this tool can do.
So the reason, not the reason, but like the vibe Text Animator 2 is that everything that was possible to achieve with Text Animator 1 is also achievable with Text Animator 2. So anything that you can create, and by the way, on the story, it's still called Text Animator for Unity. There is not the 2, just for like label reasons. We just keep this version going forward.
Yeah.
And the previous one was deprecated. Is it the word in English? Yes. But this also means that you have the same features, and of course more and better. That's the whole point. But everything has become easier from a like user experience point of view also. So for example, here is really easy to achieve now, where the cursor, like the letters, react to the cursor. And this is just one like super simple example. But if you go on your game, you can actually have text reacting, I don't know, cards, coins, anything. You can start having text being present in the scene easily without having to hard code a lot of things that you had to do previously. So this is more a complex example. This is a more thank you. This is a more realistic. So there is a mini golf game, and there is the mini game, and there is this label that says you can do it. And if you go closer to the hole, whoops, terrible launch. It's so difficult with this mouse In
Why'd you make the hole so
sensitivity.
small?
I don't know. Here
This
you
is
go.
your own doing.
So if you get closer, it gets like more. You have the effects. Let me try it again.
More and more. Yeah.
Yes. Let me try it again. It's terrible. Perfect. And if you go like closer, it goes really small, but it doesn't really do it. And you can do that like really easily now. We have like a game manager, and you just choose the parameters, but like it's really easy. And this is one example. The other example is you can create custom effects way easier now also, and you can have like crazy combos with effects stacking together. For example, the slime effect here is animating vertices. So a letter is made, a character is made of 4 vertices, and you have one animation here, another animation here, etc. for the entire world. And of course, everything is localizable. So if I actually write here, let me write slime. Of course, like any text that you put in is animated. This other one is a custom effect that that I created on the inspector. Which one is this one? Perfect. So you can choose like the rotation and the diving, and if you match like the Y movement on the Y-axis with the rotation, also you have like the letter that seems to dive, and you can of course like use that as you wish in your games. And also sneaking, where it's like slowly moving. And yeah, there are like 100 different applications for this.
And one thing you've done is like you've made it easier to affect the vertices over whereas in Text Animator 1, it was more affecting the characters themselves. But now you're actually 100%. Hitting the vertices. And I think what you're showing here is now with Text Animator, maybe before a lot of games would end up with similar effects, but now you have so much control that installing Text Animator into your project doesn't give you the same look that every other game has. It's now like you can really make your own effects and 100%. Have something very unique to your game.
And it's also like way easier, and you don't have to go basically, because everything done here. For example, the slime that I was showing you, here you choose the first vertex, yes. Here the second, and similar, and you haven't like touched any code. And so if I remove, let's say, the one vertex, you can see that it is still, it's not animating, but others are. And so everything is way easier. One thing that you can do, for example, is also convert one effect to from playing infinitely to actually being displayed while the text is showing. So if I show you this one, and if you see there's a slime, A, B, C, D, E, and we have, let's remove all the effects. Let's remove all the effects. And so I want to apply this line, and I have converted it. And so what now happens is that when the text appears, it's going to have a slime effect and then go back to normal. So you can also do that way easier. So yeah, this is like a short demo section.
Yeah, and then for anybody who might be like a bit overwhelmed with like, okay, wait, he did like, how did he do that? We're gonna go over that part in a second. And we have a great question from the chat. Lurking Ninja asks, I own this, but I haven't had the chance to play with it yet. I see it works with Text Mesh Pro. Is it working, or are there plans to make it work with the new text engine, UI toolkit, adjacent stuff?
Yeah, so it currently only works with Text Mesh Pro, but there are definitely plans to make it work with UI Toolkit. And it seems possible because UI Toolkit uses a similar like code base of basically the same as Text Mesh Pro. And so we cannot say when, because we are waiting like, the APIs and other things, but there seems like things to be moving on that direction. So yeah, 100%. And we would love to do that also. So of course, you also have this.
So that's the answer I think you were looking for, Lurking Ninja. So good news there.
Perfect.
Great. So let's do it. Let's install Text Animator into our project.
When people install like import Text Animator, it's gonna ask like, do you have Text Mesh Pro? And if you go like install, it's gonna install it for you. But after that, like it's basically you have basically done everything that you had to do, because every text that has every game object that has a Text Mesh Pro text, both UI or 3D, already works now with Text Animator. So for example, here I have written, and you have all the different, like if you go on the example folder, you have all the different example scenes with different effects and like a quicker documentation where you can see how things are set up directly. So for example, here we have the Text Animator, and you can see that you just have 2 components, and that's it. So in your game, you will probably have like, hello, this is one character speaking, and you have a text. What you can do is, I'm just modifying the example scene just to be super quick. So this is, of course, the actual scene. And if I add shake, and then I add a Text Animator component, it's gonna shake already. So like that's literally all you have to do. You have to just add a component to your Text Mesh Pro, and it works. And if you want the typewriter, you of course just add the typewriter, and you say that it starts automatically here, and it starts automatically. So like that's literally all you need to do to start, integrating Text Animator with your games.
Yeah.
So with Text Animator, there are different kind of effects. There are the effects that animate continuously through time. And so you can see here the effects that are animated through time infinitely are called behaviors. And you can see here all the default ones. And of course, you can create your own ones. And then we have the effects that modify the letters while it's appearing and also disappearing. And those are called super intuitively appearances or disappearances.
Nice.
So you can see everything here. These are the tags. And one thing, for example, with Text Animator 2 is that you are not limited to use a default tag. You can say that this effect actually gets applied if I write, I don't know, live. So this is also one thing. You can apply, let's go back to the previous scene just to animate. You can apply effects in different ways. One is just to have a simple text, and you write here on the behaviors fold out in the Text Animator component settings. Perfect. Let me move this one here. It will be readable. Perfect.
Yeah, maybe we can widen that inspector just for people to to the left a bit. Yeah.
Is it better? Yes. Okay.
Maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
And any text that you write here gets applied forever, like to the entire letter, and you can choose to the entire text, and it applies to all different categories. So decides if I write a different kind of tag, it gets applied differently. But if you see, like I'm still used to Text Animator 1. In Text Animator 1, you had to press play to test your effects. What is actually possible with Text Animator 2 is preview them in edit mode. And so I'm in edit mode. I don't have to play the scene. I don't have to play the game. I can just test here and, modify the effects and see how everything is working.
And that saves so much time. Like
it does.
Especially when as your project gets bigger and bigger and bigger, you have to hit play mode just to see a text effect in the context of a scene. If you can just do this, I mean,
yeah.
So
and we
much
also
time
have
to save.
visibility per letter. So you can hide specific words.
Oh, wow.
You can hide specific letters.
Nice.
Basically, yeah, it's everything easier and more accessible.
Yeah. We have a question from, wow, its name. Naokon Hekldo. I'm sorry for butchering the name, but I mean, maybe choose an easier name next time. So I said, I never tried Text Animator. How well does it work with pixel perfect games /fonts?
So for the fonts, there shouldn't be an issue. At the end of the day, I will still reply that if the default effects don't work as like pixel perfect movement, you might still be able to create your own. So there is still like hope. But on the font side, you are 100% free to choose like different fonts. For example, I have this one here, and it works like still. So it depends on you if you want pixel perfect movement. Right. Or if you are fine with this like pixel art font moving this way and more like linearly. Yes. But yeah, you can still like create your own 100%. It will require some code. But like the good thing is that just drop in the Discord and we'll see, we'll figure it out together. Because we would love to also, make it work. So that's 100%. Amazing.
Yeah. And I think that's, just to go back to the Unity award that you won. I think part of what makes these tools like this amazing is the publishers themselves, right? And how much
Thank
they
you so much.
support the community, right? And I
Thank you
think
so much.
that you're one of those publishers that's always there. The reviews are very high because you're consistently like interacting with your community. There it is. And then just in case you missed the beginning of the show, yes, for which you won
Thank
the
you.
Unity award. Like you're always on Discord, you're helping your community, you're talking to them. It's a two-way conversation, right?
100%.
Which makes a world of difference with a tool. But yeah, we have another question. Is there a way to launch animations later on a text that's already there? Like if I want to play animations when a number goes up or a number goes down, or maybe when a certain word pops into the sentence, the character does an animation. Is there a way to trigger events through the
Yes. So basically, what you can do would be similar to the golf demo that I showed. It's the effect is stored in a scriptable object. Scriptable object. It's hard to pronounce in English. Okay, sorry. And
we'll change it. We'll change the name.
No. It's fine. It's fine. No worries. And so what you can do, thanks to scriptable objects, oh my god, is reference them anywhere in your game. And in this case, I have like a super simple mini game with golf, but you can have like a pop-up effect or a shake effect that only works after, I don't know, a time or something happens in your game, and you're 100% free to like create an event or a method here and enable the effect through your game like logic. So this is 100% possible. If you don't need something that is as I wouldn't say complicated, it's just a few steps, but it might require some coding. You can definitely also create custom effects that start after some time. So you have the time mode and you also have the emission curve. And so wait over time, it starts, for example, at 0. So there is no effect at all. Let me go to 0. Perfect. And then we want no effect for what value is this? 20. So for 20 seconds. And this is also how you can delay the effect. And you can like do it in different ways, basically. Yeah. So I hope that answers the question.
I think it does, yes.
Perfect. Another way, so we have talked about how to add effects to the entire text. So you don't also have to modify your text. But if you want, you can 100% modify. Let me just reset the default effects so that this text has none. You can 100% apply effects in between the text, in between the words, however you prefer. And it's similar to HTML tags. And so I want this word, exactly this word, to be animated with the shake animation.
Nice.
And you just write like shake, or you could create like rainbow, just like this. And you can also stack effects together. And so like this. And here you have like different effects on a specific word. And this applies to all different categories. So you can have a part of a sentence that it gets shown, I don't know, with a fade. And then you have another part that it's like bouncing, and you can play with all these different things. And it's great for like characters that have different emotions or different like way of speaking. And you can reflect that to the text also.
And I think that's... Oh, no, go ahead.
No, I was just saying we also have some shortcodes. For example, if you don't want to close, like if you want to close all the tags, you can just do this symbol here, and it's just telling Text Animator, okay, everything that was open previously, just close it. So we also worked on that front, and we made those shortcodes for this.
Right. Again, a lot of thought into like how do we save time.
Yes, it was like the 3 years result of like having Text Animator 1 around and different studios. And what I didn't expect also was the different use cases and different games.
What's one of your favorite use cases that comes to mind? Like what's a game you're playing and you're like, okay, that effect, just amazing.
There is one that was included in a showcase, I guess last year. It's called The Day God Ordered Pizza. And by the way, it's a wonderful art style. Like I cannot wait that game to go out. and they have like played a lot with Text Animator. Like they made the entire text. Let me see if I can actually open it. So if I go here, whoops, and I go here, and then I go on game development, and if I go on here,
Oh, here are all the games that have used.
here you go. So are you able to see?
Yeah,
full
I can.
screen?
Oh yeah, this game
Okay.
looks amazing, by the way.
Yeah, like they like played with it like 100%. Like they did an amazing
Oh.
job. And so you have like text that only appear to like give you like a more I don't know, horror I wouldn't say, but like look at all these effects. Like it was amazing.
Atmospheric,
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of
it's
spooky
amazing.
vibe. Yeah.
So yeah, this is one of the spoiler. This is one of the use cases that I didn't expect. It's like people putting like 100%, and also like there is another where they used Text Animator. We will go into that later, but you can make some like things happen in your game after a specific word is displayed.
Yeah.
And so if a character says, "Where are you going?" and then not going, you want a specific sound, or you want an animation, or you want something like
Right.
you can do that. And there was a developer who has developed like a entire cutscene system based on this. They just wrote the cutscene and then parsed that in Text Animator, and they had an actual cutscene in their game running from the typewriter. So I don't know. It worked. I mean, if it worked,
That's cool.
it's
So
okay.
everything was like scheduled based off of the,
Yes.
the pace of the text. That's very cool. I like that
So
method.
yeah.
You gave me a really nice example of like I don't know if it was a real example, but it was just to convey the idea of what's possible with the dabbing and the. Do you want to tell the audience a bit like that kind of effect you can achieve, like a
Yes,
character who has a catchphrase or something?
Spoiler: this is a demo that we have created 1 year ago. I don't remember with two other assets, wonderful assets. One is called Dialog System for Unity, and the other one is called Feel.
Yeah.
And so this is an example of what we are talking about. Let me maximize. Let me zoom. Perfect. So we have two characters talking together. And you have just a joke that it's going on.
Yeah.
You, of course, have different choices thanks to Dialog System. And when there is the catchphrase, we have synced the camera that is zooming now, and then you have the actual punchline with this shake. And so this is one of the examples. Like you can have a character dubbing, you can have different like effects playing together. And this is one example with Dialog System plus Feel.
Yeah.
But you can do like however like you prefer in your games. You can even wait your specific game's content to play or some scores to appear. You can do all of this. Yes.
So rather than every time you talk to a specific character, you have to re-input the animation for like doing this effect at this time. It's just like, hey, we know that this character, whenever they say this word, they do this little jump.
Yes.
And it's just gonna happen. It's just it takes care of it for you, and I love that. So you really bring your characters to life. We have someone in the chat saying that like the tool gives text emotions, and I completely agree with that. And I think that's a great segue to talking about the different like fields, the different disciplines that are using Text Animator and how they approach it. So if you're a game designer, there's an approach, right? If you're a writer, it works for you. If you're a programmer, you can do things through code. And what I love about the HTML system of writing is you can like create your own system on your own game, hand it to your writer, have your writer work in Google Documents or whatever, and just let them know, hey, whenever you're trying to convey this, like here's the list of effects you can have, and just add them to your text, and they can literally write the script, throw the effects into the script. They don't even have to touch Unity, and then the programmer or whoever integrator can copy paste that text into the fields, and the effects will happen right away.
Yes.
So that's a way to get the writers more involved, I think, which is really cool.
What I learned throughout the years is that, and most like frequent now that like I have a company, which is still like weird, and for people or three other people, is that tools should how do you say that in English? Adapt. Here you go, to other people's like already existing workflows.
Yeah.
And so what writers, do is, they take Word, they take their tools, and where they are most comfortable in, and they write their own like story. And so we didn't want to like have them go into Unity and have, to learn Unity or just that specific panel or, Text Animator, basically. So in their mind, they just say hello, and then they write the effect, I don't know, angry, and an angry catchphrase. And that's for them that it's covered. So they know that at that point, that character is going to have an angry, animation, an angry something in the text. The designer can take that request, so there must be an angry effect, and they go into Unity and they will just, play with the values, which you can easily do. For example, here, I can show you in Unity, but like you can do in the inspector way easily. So if you go here, like you can say, okay, the amplitude, so how much strength is the pendulum is this one. If I want a shake, it's this one. And if suddenly I want like a shake that is super strong, I call it angry. Like that's literally what they have to do. Like it's super simple. And so from the designer point of view, they tweak the values and they make sure that the angry animation feels angry.
Yeah.
And the programmer, of course, takes care of actually, either creating it or coding it so that creating it from the inspector or coding it so that they convey what they want to tell. And for example, some integration with the systems, with the typewriters, and the specific like game logic. So every field has like their own way still to do things.
Yes.
And yeah, this is what I learned also.
I love that. So you have input for everyone, right? Designers
yes.
creating the tags, writers doing the writing with the tags, programmer is doing the little minute like integrations and details to take it to the next level. That's it's really fun. I think this is it's like the first time you built it, I think you built it maybe on like what you built it, I guess, based off of your own experience.
Yes.
But then Text Animator is based off of your own plus many other successful developers' experience.
Yes. So, for example, like when I met and I like discovered that a Cult of the Lamb used Text Animator, and I met them at Gamescom, and I was shaking because like suddenly if something broke like on the text side, it was my fault. But it like throughout the years, luckily it didn't, and it worked. But like throughout the years, I had many inputs from different developers. And yeah, this is one of the main things of Text Animator 2 is that we have all the different use cases, and of course, like one difficult thing is you have to start putting limits, and so some people will ask you some really specific like giant things that are a bit out of Text Animator goal. But I'm really like happy with where we have landed. So we have a bit of for everyone basically.
We spoke a bit about like modifying effect values. You mentioned scriptable objects. Did you want to go into a bit more detail about the scriptable objects and the power that they I mean, you already kind of touched on it, but if there's something else you want to like showcase it more, we can do that.
Yeah, sure. So the super like useful things is that with Text Animator 1 you had to hard code everything, or mostly. And so if you had a character that was, I don't know, let's say that we actually have the previous question effect. So there is a coin that it gets collected and an effect that plays after, or that gets like bigger stronger after the coin is collected. With Text Animator 1 you had to like wait for the text to be applied and then fetch the effects and then like do some like jumps and then it will work. Right now what is like really good is that your game doesn't need to know what Text Animator like really is. For example, here I have created a simple like objects watch target, which basically means like there is these objects that are interacting with the text, and this script is just telling Unity like, okay, I want this effect, which is a scriptable object, to also know about this target. That's literally all the code has to do. There is no like Text Animator, there's no like
really cool
hard coded things.
Yeah.
And this means that if I jump back on Unity, if I create another one, like it will just work. So this is what you can create super easily.
Very modular.
Yes, and you can reference this anywhere in your code. You can create listeners for different events. You can even like use it as a testing tool to like you get all these scriptable objects that interact with Text Animator, and you test it before building the game and shipping it to console or to Steam. And so like this is another like really good scenario that we also like found super useful, of course, in the production of our game. And this is like the result of the 3 years. And like I love scriptable objects. Yes, I will stop pronouncing that. Can you speak?
You're
like,
killing it. I
argument?
don't know what the problem is.
I don't know. Perfect. So yeah, this is the thing, and
Great.
You can create multiple ones. You can, for example, here with the FX. Let's say that we actually let's jump on the custom FX.
Sure.
So on the double wave, I have created a composite effect that is a mix of like already two existing effects.
Yeah.
And this one has their own like values. And let's say that I want to call this one, I don't know, C. And then I have like different values. You can start like really, with modular like design. You can play with a lot, like integrate your game way more. But I don't want to pronounce like them anymore, please. So yeah, perfect.
Yes. Perfect. And then these are all things that are actually available now. So scriptable, like this integration is available now.
Yes.
But we do want to tease something that's coming that you don't have yet. I don't know if you want to announce when it's gonna come. I don't know if that's,
it should be either next week or the other next.
That was
other week.
Sooner than I thought. Okay, cool.
Yes.
So it's called Styles. I'm not sure if
Yes.
you announced it already publicly.
No, I didn't.
Okay, so this is the first time we get to look at this, which is really cool. Everyone watching right now is getting an exclusive sneak peek at Styles. Can you show us what Styles
100%.
are? What are we going to be able to do now?
Oh, and by the way, super like tangent, you can 100% modify even the symbols and everything of your tags, like whatever you prefer.
Oh, nice. Cool.
But anyways, there are moments, and this is like the same approach of Text Mesh Pro. There are moments where if you write something in the text, you want actually, a bigger text reader or like a combo of things. And so in Text Animator, you might, before this update, you might end up with saying like, okay, let's say that whenever a character, like we want to have a dub effect, let's say dub, we play the dub effect and then we play the audio 5 and then we actually wait 2 seconds and I haven't closed this. And then we also paste like hello and then we close everything. So you might end up having to write this every time, which of course is not ideal. What styles do is that you simply write dub here, which is the tag that you're using, and it's just a way to replace texts easily with Text Animator and are really like recognized. And so one example here, let's say that we also add the shake effect just to show the effects. And let's close this shake. Whenever I write dub now, it will simply like paste the opening and then I can just close the dub and it will just stop. Of course, play audio is not recognized yet. So they're just pasting, but it's like a super handy way to have, for example, different characters that have their punchline or they have like a specific word. And whenever that word is written, you actually want a whole lot of like different type writing actions, like events happening, effects.
So while before you could create tags that would render out certain effects that you made, this is a style is basically, it's also kind of a tag, but it's a tag that contains multiple tags plus text as a combo.
Yes, it's basically a replacement tool. Like it's,
amazing.
But it's recognized by Text Animator instantly.
Yes.
So that you can like create your like own.
It's like a text prefab almost, like a text.
Yes, exactly. Yes,
in a way,
100%.
like the same concept, like
yes,
you just drop it in and cool.
Yeah, and you can create, of course, different ones. And like what becomes really powerful is when really like you have different moments, like different, I don't know, specific characters, specific emotions, or specific things. Let's say that there is a game. I'm just inventing things now. Let's say that there is a game that it's horror. And whenever there is a word, a specific word, let's say mouse, everyone is scared about mouse. Like, is mouse a plural, I don't know. But anyways,
mice.
whenever
Mice,
that word occurs in the text, you have a whole lot of like characters like behaving differently and things happening in the game.
Yeah.
And with this, you can just do that super easily. And the writer again will just write dab or mouse, and that's it.
Great. I love that. That's it makes things easy.
Don't ask me why this example.
Very easy. And when did you know? I like it. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. When did you realize that this was a necessary feature?
It was for both people asking for it.
Okay, cool.
And also we needed that in our own games also. Because we have, again, specific things. Not mouses, it's not horror. Mice, yes, but that's the reasons. So yeah, it will ship in next week or 2 weeks maximum.
David Jumeau in the chat asks, does Text Animator integrate with Twine and other dialogue packages, and does this also work with emoticons? And then he also asks, does it work with variables, animating I'm sorry, $name? I'm afraid I can't do that. Exactly. I'm sorry. I don't actually understand that last example. Maybe you do.
No, I did.
Yeah,
yes,
okay.
I did. No worries.
Cool.
Yes. So Text Animator works on top of Text Mesh Pro. I have issues pronouncing things today. But the dialog system, it's up like to the user, so to you, the game developer. So you can use dialog system for Unity. You can use Yarn Spinner, which is another like great tool I can show here as an example.
Yeah.
You can use Twine. So there is.
And we have an example to showcase, right?
This is the example scene. What is on Yarn Spinner is, let me remove Text Animator. So with Yarn Spinner, like default example, you have this, like 2 character speakings and this bubble. And the dialogue is written outside of Text Animator. So you have a dialogue runner that has, I don't know where it is, that has different dialogue options. Let me go probably here. Here you go. So here you have the characters talking, and here you have like the different dialogue. You will have Yarn's ink, can have Twine, and those are already integrated also. And we are also adding Game Creator 2 really soon. And again, when it's up to showing the text, you just add Text Animator. And I have to hit play. Here you go. And that's it. You start having like Text Animator text and the FX, and then you can just, let's say I want a birth exp, and I also want every text for some reason in the entire dialogue to be waving.
Yeah.
Hit save, and everything is like already integrated. So yeah, this is it basically.
Perfect. And we have another external integration example to show, which is with Feel and the tree example. I guess we can show that again just to show that how that uses dialogue tree and Feel together.
Perfect.
With
I didn't know if I had that open, but I did. Awesome.
Nice.
So for example, the dialogue here in Dialog System for Unity is like this. So you write the text with the specific effects that you want and similar. And here are the choices. And with Feel, you create feedbacks that, for example, the camera shaking, the characters talking, the camera zooming. And to show it again, let me maximize.
Yeah.
Perfect. So this is dialogue from Dialog System that is put into Text Animator or Text Mesh Pro and animating, of course. And you also have all the different feedbacks.
Amazing.
And so here, again, there is the punchline and the camera starts zooming. Here you go. And then you have the punchline and like the shake. So yeah, you can definitely do that. Yes. Which also accounts for the localization, for example. So what you will do in your games is, let's say you have house with a shake effect, shake house. Let me actually write it, which is easier. Let me go back to the example scenes, which are here. Perfect. So in your game, not on the label, but actually, on a localization table or something similar, you will have shake house, and then you will have how are you. If you were to write the same text in Italian, you will still apply shake, then you localize the actual text, and that's it. Like you will have both languages working with the same like house or casa in Italian, animating, and only that. And yeah, this is also like how it works. Text Animator is, I would say, just responsible for, animating texts and the typewriting and the actions and all the different things.
Yeah, perfect. So I think we've gone over the how to use it, then upcoming features, external integrations. What else is like coming down the line for Text Animator? We kind of teased it at the beginning with the UI toolkit, but yeah.
So with Text Animator, we are working on both like a timeline integration where you would be able to imagine cutscenes where you want to test specific effects happening at specific times.
Yeah.
And which also includes a playback. And so you would be able to go back and forth and, have different times and test everything. It's really like difficult to achieve, but we are doing it. I cannot promise when, but we are working on it. And again, I will start posting updates on Discord. So we have that coming. We have of course, UI toolkit, as we mentioned. So we are working and talking with UI toolkit team to see, if when the integration can be possible.
Yeah.
And the underlying text mesh or text core system is already in place. So, I still don't know when. I cannot promise when, but there is super mega intention to go there. And other things, one actual really cool thing that I like is that with Text Animator 2, I wrote many unit tests for the past 3 years. Which means that now everything that was really weird, or maybe some bugs that were happening in some specific use cases are now covered. And so before shipping new updates, we already know everything is working. And so we would have more updates faster in the future also, which is a really good thing.
Great. So just more maintenance.
Yes.
Keeping things up to date. Timeline, UI.
Yeah, I was really scared, for example, with the as I told you, Cut of the Lamb game, and I okay, it is shipped on Switch. So if it breaks, it's on the tech side, why? And after that moment, I was freezing for a little bit, and okay, no updates, everything is working. But this is why Text Animator 2. This is also why I was okay, you know what? Actually, let's rewrite the main architecture and all the different things.
You're let's break everything so we can fix it all again.
Yeah. Everything. Yeah. But it worked. It worked. I am really happy what it is now.
Okay, so fantastic. And so in 3 years, we're going to break it all again, and Text Animator 3 is coming.
I don't know. I cannot promise that.
You'll find something to do or to add.
But I don't know. But yeah.
But yeah, Federico, thank you so much. This has been such a pleasure. So great to have you on again. And this time, the stream will be up on YouTube for anybody to watch anytime. Anybody who ever buys the asset can come to this video and get a quick introduction on how to use it. Remember, everyone, there's the Black Friday sale going on right now. Text Animator is part of that, so you can get it for 50% off. So now is a better time than any to buy it. With styles coming next week, with this tutorial teaching you how to use it out, and the Black Friday sale, I wouldn't see why you wouldn't get it if this is something you're going to use. It's going to save you so much time rather than building it yourself, and you get to be extremely creative, more time for your creativity and for just making your game. So definitely check it out. We're dropping all the links in the chat. I want to ask you, Federico, before we go, it's been a very long journey for you as both a game developer and as a publisher, and I hope we can have you back sometime to actually talk about your game when you're ready to talk about it. I'm very excited for that. But as a publisher, first of all, if you have any advice for anyone who's up and coming, want to make their own tools, not necessarily to go up on the asset store, just want to make their own tools, or for somebody who wants to put their assets up on the asset store, what advice do you have for them with all your experience?
I would say for the sharing things, because I noticed that with the beginnings of Text Animator and the rest of it, maybe it's being scared, I don't know, but I was 100% super cautious. Is cautious a word?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes, of telling, being 100% transparent of what the tool can do and what it cannot do. It's not an issue. It's there. You designed it to do some things, and I'm still a recruiting team today with people asking, is X possible or is it not? And especially at the beginning, you will have many different feedbacks and people asking for things. Be 100% transparent, and we also give many things for granted. For example, on the tool side, we should, for example, have a documentation or an API. And other things, don't worry and just say, it's our first tool, or just be transparent. Just maybe human is also another word. I don't know if it makes sense in English to use in this case.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Show that it's our
You're
first
person
tool.
working on it too.
100%. Yeah, this is what I did initially and what I will keep doing like forever. Because yeah, I hope this advice makes sense on the tool side.
Makes complete sense. And I'll ask you for your advice as a game developer when you come on to showcase your game. I'm
Okay.
looking forward to that.
100%.
But yeah, thank you so much. And for everybody who's watching, thank you for all your amazing questions. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
And make sure to subscribe to us on YouTube and Twitch. Next week we will be bringing on some of the URP team to look at the latest updates for URP, so that's going to be really fun. We'll be looking at some demos, so come and check that out next week. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Thank you, Federico, and
thank you so much.
We'll
thank you for having me, and thank you like to everyone like for the support. And you know, it's still like I still can't believe it, as I told you, but I'm really happy, you know, and looking for what's next. So
it's amazing. All right, ciao everyone. Bye bye.